been a wonderful, I meant to say great day.
In love with him because he knows from past experience that once a woman falls in love with him, the next month or two, it's like taking candy from a baby.
Like most of the other women, Mary met Jerry in this Denver area bar. After a whirlwind courtship, they tied the knot. A knot, Mary says, put a stranglehold on her finances. She says Jerry cleaned her out, bouncing checks all over town and maxing out her Visa card. After the dust cleared, Mary claims Jerry had taken her to the tune of $30,000.
What happened when you confronted him?
He broke down and started crying and said that he had been abused as a child. He was a Vietnam veteran. He was messed up in the head. It was a nightmare. It was a total nightmare, believe me.
Mary should have had an inkling something was wrong when Jerry failed to show up for their 6-month wedding anniversary. It's not like he forgot. He was off marrying Madeline Swidensky, a woman he met just a week earlier. At the wedding, Madeline was the blushing bride. Later, she was red in the face with humiliation after discovering her groom was a bigamist.
He's the scum of the earth, that's for sure. He could be the best used car salesman ever walking. I'm sure the old adage, he could sell snow to an Eskimo. You bet he could.
Luckily for Madeline, the honeymoon was over before any of her money disappeared. 3 days after the wedding, friends had told her that Jerry was already married to Mary and that she had been the victim of a cruel hoax.
It's just terrible. It's like a Hitler has walked through and just destroyed everything in his path. And that's what he's done. And he has absolutely no regard, no remorse whatsoever.
Jackie Murphy's romance with Jerry ended just before her march down the aisle. The wedding arrangements were all set. The invitations were already stamped and sealed when she realized that Jerry allegedly brought her to the brink of financial ruin.
When I met him, I had $6,000 in the bank. And when I left him, I was $2,000 in debt. You see it on television, you think, well, that happens on TV. That doesn't happen in real life. And so I was really trusting and really naive. I, was believing in happy endings, and I had the shock of my life.
How much did you lose?
I would think with everything involved, with interest that I have lost on the money that I have paid to pay things off, I would really estimate close to $20,000. I thought I was a total nightmare. There was one point I flew out of the house and told my mom I was going to kill him. If I'd gotten a hold of Jerry back in '87, I would have done my very best to kill him.
He's the only human being in this whole world that I would love to see dead.
For the first time in my life, and I don't mind you putting this on television, I know in my heart I could kill. I don't kill bugs. I take little spiders outside. I've raised 3 children. I've written children's storybooks. I'm a totally compassionate and caring person. And yet he's changed me to the point to where I know that I could actually commit a crime.
Nearly all of the Denver victims were under the impression that Jerry took off for the Salt Lake City area. So that's where we went next. Here we found even more women who claimed to be Jerry's wife or fiancé. When we told them we were interested in finding Jerry, their general reaction was, good luck. Well, we did have a bit of good luck. After 2 solid days of phone calls, background checks, cross-indexing addresses, and just basic digging, we followed a trail of people who knew Jerry in Salt Lake City. We were given the names of the night spots he liked to meet women in, and the restaurants which were considered his favorite stomping grounds. From there, we tracked down the name and address of his latest unsuspecting fiancée, here in the quiet town of Pleasant Grove, Utah. When they arrived back at her house, we were waiting with our cameras. Now remember, his new fiancée knows nothing about Jerry's controversial past.
Yeah, I'm with a current affair. Yeah. I just want to find out if you're the same fellow in Denver who's frauded women. Jerry? Did you know you're wanted in Denver?
No, I'm not.
You're not Jerry Soderquist?
No. I filed a $100,000 lawsuit against that show. I'll file one against you.
You're not Jerry Soderquist? Can you show me some ID? Chrissy, did you know this man has frauded women in Denver?
You know, I'll bust punch me right in the f***ing chops?
Go ahead.
I'm not wanted in Denver.
You're not?
No,
Why don't you check with the authorities there?
I have.
They believe differently. Chrissy, did you know this man is wanted in Denver?
Get out of here.
Do you know that he has romanced women and then taken their money?
Get out of here. I mean it. You get off this property, you're a dead mother.
At this point, Jerry made a beeline for his fiance's car, leaving myself and the crew wondering what he was going to pull out from the back seat. Then he charged our cameraman, Ron Hill.
You want to die?
Hey, Jerry?
Huh?
No, not
Jerry?
really.
You don't need any more trouble, Jerry.
You get out of here. And I'll see you in court, mother.
What remained when the dust cleared was a devastated young woman who in one brief, shocking moment saw her entire world crumble.
I want to apologize for doing that, but I really think that in the long run I'll be saving you some major heartache. His name is Jerry Soderquist, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is? Have you been dating him long?
I want to talk to you, okay? I want to talk to you.
After a few moments collecting her thoughts, Chris did talk about the shocking revelation that had just unfolded.
I feel like I've been beat up.
Worse than if it had been physical.
I think so.
What was running through your mind today when you were standing on the porch and that confrontation happened?
A lot of fear. A lot of fear, wondering what the hell just happened to my life. Wondering who this person was. To have a man that I danced with and that held me and made me believe that I was his queen. And that he was going to give me the world of love and security. And we were going to be best friends and sweethearts.
Yesterday, a league of spurned women finally had something to cheer about when Salt Lake City police arrested Jerry Soderquist for passing bad checks. In the eyes of the law, Jerry Soderquist is still innocent of any crime. But if he is to be judged on a moral basis, then he stands accused of perhaps one of the most sinister of offenses, namely taking women's vulnerabilities and stabbing them through the heart.
Any advice to women who might meet Jerry Soderquist down the road?
Oh, boy. Run like hell.
The sheriff of Utah County is prepared to press theft and bigamy charges. Now, when we come back, a gun-toting granny who's keeping the streets of Dallas safe.